Hello everyone, Mr. Lipchick here, and our topic for discussion is human systems. An introduction to culture. There are many definitions of culture, and they have changed over time. Culture causes people to see the same things from different perspectives. Culture is heavily influenced by race, common history, nationality, and geographic location. Cultures have spread throughout the world through cultural diffusion as people influence cultures in the areas that they migrate to. The geographic definition of culture most closely resembles that of anthropology. Anthropology is the study of the origins, biology, physical characteristics, beliefs, lifestyles, and social customs of humans. The anthropological definition of culture focuses on the basis of language, habits, customs, and modes of thought. Medieval Europe. The word culture is linked to the ancient Latin cultura used by the Romans to describe farming. It took on additional meanings related to improvement through education. During the medieval period, culture, or cultura, was associated with the development of religious faith. Renaissance Europe. The end of the 1400s in Europe brought about a reawakening of learning. Humanists, or writers during that period, used the term culture to describe mental cultivation. It was during this time that European thinkers began to break with religious ideals as the basis for their theories. 17th century Europe. By the start of the 17th century, the concept of culture began to appear in the European vernacular or common language. Culture in a person's education meant developing his or her individual capacities. Cultivated meant refined and accomplished as individual achievement began to replace the privileges of birth. Uncultured came to mean crude or vulgar. 18th century Europe. In the 18th century, culture referred to a person's or people's degree of refinement. Culture became connected with the notion of societal progress. Culture became associated with the moral education of children. 19th century Europe. In the 19th century, cultures were ranked according to a hierarchy. High culture was differentiated from mass culture as being more refined. This corresponded with a rigid, economically and socially stratified society. 20th century Europe. Widespread anthropological studies during the 20th century led to the definition of culture as something that all people possess. Anthropologists wrote long cultural analyses of different peoples called ethnographies after living with them for extended periods. Culture became neutral in nature, with no particular culture having value over others. This concept is known as cultural relativity. 21st century Europe. In the 21st century, four developments have altered the anthropological concept of culture. Cultures are internally differentiated and cannot be studied as homogeneous totalities. Heightened cultural self-consciousness or culturalism among the peoples being studied. The internal characteristics of cultures are shaped by complex world history. And the idea that the cultures under study have been subject to great periods of migration and cultural diffusion, that is, the spreading of cultural characteristics. That concludes our discussion of human systems. Thank you for attending, and I look forward to seeing you in the live lesson. Have a great day.